I think what affects me most in what I do is that we're involved in the arts, and I think the arts relies on a lot of funding from the European Union, and so I'd be very concerned, very worried about what would happen to the sources of funding that come in.
British people are quite patriotic, and that's something that you feel every day, I think, by being the, especially because you hear, immigration and Europe is costing you money, because at the end of the day you're one of the best countries in the world financially, and you have to deal with the likes of Italy and Greece and Spain, and you feel that they should go separate ways, which is fair enough, I think.
We provide a service that's very much based on improving the environment and working with nature, and a lot of the environmental protection that we've seen in the last 2 decades has been informed by European legislation.
As somebody who works in Europe and travels Europe all the time, I'd say that I'm definitely pro an easier unilateral system of currency and of trade. It would certainly make it more difficult for me to work and to build people in other countries, which we currently do.
Everybody seems to like things that have no surprises with them, especially in business. But the dilemma for me with the European election is that Europe as a marketplace, even though it's very big, is very old in relative terms demographically, and it's very flat. So there's no growth really coming from that marketplace.
I think for businesses, it would be again complicated to get talent from overseas, because it would be a lot more costly. It would be more expensive to hire someone who doesn't have the paperwork. Yet I think that the UK will still require overseas talent from overseas. Sorry.
The freedom of movement affects everything. Touring musicians, multiple label deals or publishing deals that go into different countries. The thing about it is that it's not necessarily going to guaranteed be a negative or a positive either way, but it will definitely change the way that we see trade and the way that we work.
I think ideas and talent, should migrate across borders. We live in a global world, so for me, being part of Europe is only a kind of subsection of being part of a wider global economy and a wider global kind of citizenship community.
When it comes to regeneration, the money we are getting to support our city is coming from Europe. So for that reason, it's good. For reasons that maybe we could do better if we controlled our own money, I don't know. That's maybe what we find out if we don't become a member.
I think it's important that everybody votes at any possibility they can. I think that democracy is failing us in the UK at the moment, and I know that the European Union's unelected body as such, but I still think it's important for us to cast our vote and have our say in whichever way we can.
Well, if you don't vote, you don't have your say. And I think this is a critical issue for Britain. It will determine the kind of Britain, the kind of UK that people will live in for the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Voting is absolutely one of the most important things you can do as a member of a society. Whether you're voting to leave or voting to stay, it's very rare as a member of a country to be involved in a decision like this. You absolutely should take the opportunity to vote.